Good morning. I'm here to share another insight with you all. This is one um, that I had fairly quickly after my first MS episode, which wasn't actually diagnosed as MS at the time. But I've shared the story about that, so if you haven't heard it or interested, um, it's one of my more recent videos. Or if you have any questions, just let me know. But um, before I before any of that all happened, I was just like a free-spirited, outdoorsy person. And I had gotten into like a writing kind of community, and I didn't realize it at the time, but there was some people there who didn't like me so much and were like kind of bullying me, and I didn't even really understand what was going on. I just was being me. Very outgoing. I don't know. I was just having fun. But as they, kept, I guess, bullying me and pushing me, eventually, like, I sent some of that energy back to them. And it wasn't that, it was like, there was like an intention that I didn't really know what I was doing because I was like it wasn't pure intention. I was acting from like being hurt and angry, and it was just a reaction. But and I'm not saying that I caused my MS or anything like that, or that I did anything wrong, because we're just here to learn and grow. But at the time, this is what it appeared as, is that I had caused my MS by trying to hurt somebody by sending out ill intentions, and it's not something I'm proud of. But it was, I don't even know because my memory's kind of foggy from back then, but it was maybe like a month prior to that big episode when I lost the ability to walk, talk, and see, and it and I knew the person who taught me to draw and use energy in certain ways. They told me, be careful about who you share this stuff with because it can be used against you, or be careful. There was certain stuff was like, don't wear that into town because people don't understand, or people will can use it against you, or it can be used against the world or whatever. And so never really kind of took heed to that. And but after like the big first MS attack, and having sent out some ill intent energy towards somebody, I felt like that was like me. And I'm not a huge believer in karma like I used to be. I believe that you get back what you put out, which to me isn't exactly karma. It's just one of the laws of the universe. And a lot of times we look for karma and people who have hurt us, and we kind of want to see them feel the same way we felt. But their karma isn't just like somebody did to me. This is my personal opinion. Isn't just somebody threw a ball at me and hurt me or whatever, and I want to see them get hit in the face with a ball too. It's more, they're going to get back the energy they put out. So whatever that is for them, and we don't really know what that is. We just know what it looked like from our experience, through our perception, through the place where we perceive, and what all our lenses and stories that make up that lens and experiences. So um yeah, it's and I feel like it's always perfect timing when we get our energy back, whether good or bad, and that it's the goal is always to grow. The goal is always love, and And it's not the love I grew up thinking love was. I had to redefine love. And my favorite definition of love is unconditional acceptance. So when I sent out that energy and then I was found myself in the hospital, unable to walk, talk, and see, I don't know, I want to say it was a month later. I don't know exactly how long it was, but I I thought for sure that it was karma, and that was before I even really, knew you get out or you get back what you put out, kind of like one of the laws of the universe that Bashar talks about. And I don't want to equate that all to my actions because there's a whole lot of things that lead up to like a big events in your life. It's not just one thing generally. It's like, when things happen even in nature, a lot of times it's like the pressure has to be right and the temperature has to be right and the winds have to be right. It's like a whole bunch of things that play into it. Anyways, so I learned a lot about energy, and it was like I pretty much vowed. I mean, that was like one of the things that I wouldn't ever do that again. That's It's like really heartfelt that I would never send out hurtful energy to anybody. And if somebody is sending out energy to me and I feel it or something, I do not respond because in a way, by responding you're kind of agreeing to play in that energy with them, for one. So it kind of makes you like it can, depending on your beliefs, make you more susceptible to whatever it is that they might be setting. Like you're agreeing to play their game, kind of. um I don't know, for some reason I'm just picturing like a room with chessboards, when like some of those chess movies where they have all the chessboards set around the room, and like the Queen's Gambit, and she goes around and plays all of them. It's similar to that. But what if you came across the board and maybe you're not in the same situation, but in a board in the game of life, and you're just like, no, I don't want to play that game. Like you already have half the board set up to win, or you already have me in a pinned position before the game's even started. Like I don't agree. So that's just kind of something that like I learned from watching Bashar a little bit, is like the dark energy in tarot. Sometimes it gets blown out of proportion, like people are sending you darkness and curses and all this stuff, and you only that's only if you have to agree to that. Like there has to be some kind of like conscious agreement, not like, yeah, shake hands, or it's more like you're just lowering yourself to into that energy. You're somehow allowing yourself to accept that that would be the thing that was going on. So that's kind of one of the things that I learned through multiple sclerosis, and the beginning of it, and is just that I will never, like, it. There's two things that are really, really dear to me that can really like touch me, and I would never hurt anybody like that, because it's really just hurting yourself, especially since we're all aspects. Everybody is like an aspect of you, so I am essentially an aspect of you, and you're essentially an aspect of me. In some way, everything is one. Like the all is the one, and the one is the all. So, and I just think of it like a diamond, and every facet is a new person. Every facet is a new flower. Every facet of the diamond, is, I don't know, a leaf. I just see a leaf outside, a tree, a ray of sun, whatever it may be. But I kind of learned that like what the energy we do send out is what shapes us, and I learned how real energy is, and I kind of I knew a little bit about Abraham Hicks back then. That was really like my only real teacher, and she's always like reach for the better feeling thought, and I still have stuff on my walls that's just taped up from back then, like when we first moved here, and it is just those small little things. Like one of the things that is really crazy is one of the things I have is like it's about vibration, and I should go get it real fast, but it's about vibration. And I think like when I first put that up, I didn't even really believe it, but I believed it enough to put it on the wall, but I didn't believe it experientially. And now, years later, and it doesn't have to be years for everybody, so not that time even exists, but I really started learning about more about energy. And you see on the internet, like, when they freeze the snowflakes with like certain words on the water, or freeze the water with certain words on the glass, and then they take the ice after it's frozen and look at it under a microscope, and they see like how depending on the words that were on the glass, it would have a different energy. And then there's like agories and stuff, like thought forms. There's a ton of information on that, but I didn't get caught up in that. It was more just like seeing it and acknowledging it. And then I know that like I see egregores, whatever. I see like some of the bigger ones are like our holidays. I mean, the positive side are our holidays, and like the spirit of Christmas. That the spirit is actually, to me, it's actually a spirit, and it's a collective thought form that is the spirit of Christmas. And I don't know, I really learned about energy, and through this whole journey, I've really learned about energy. I've really learned about intention, and I don't really know what else to add about it. But I think like because MS is an autoimmune disease, and when you send out hurtful intentions, that um that it will return to you, however and whenever it's perfect to probably teach you a lesson like this. I don't know, at least that's what my story has been. But with autoimmune disease, it is like attacking yourself. When you send out ill intentions, you're essentially attacking yourself. I remember back then too, I used to have a couple of dreams where it was like I was trying to like punch someone, which was probably myself. And it's like one of those dreams where you just can't. You're like starting to move, and it's like slower, and you're just trying so hard. Dreams like that. And I think that was literally like me just fighting against the flow, fighting against what was, and feeling hurt and angered and like bullied, and I didn't really know how to deal with that. And so I kind of acted from that place of just not knowing who I was, what I was doing, or that hurt people, and I'm not blaming it on them, and I'm not blaming it on me even. It's just, I think it's just more of like, here's a point of growth. Here's a point for you to see better in yourself and to become better, become that better version of you. And so in that, I'm like super, super grateful, because I think that's an incredibly powerful lesson to be had and to share. I tried to write some notes down, but because sometimes I just ramble. But I think that's for the most part my message is mindfulness of where our thoughts are, and to, I guess, even in in the most um less than ideal moments in our lives, to stay as positive as you can, because it really matters, not just to you, to everybody, because it is like a ripple effect. We are in a ripple effect. And I guess that's it for today. A bit little bit on what I learned about that. But I just wanted to share that, really just about energy, and if I had any tools that I could share, if you're going through any kind of bullying, or like you're not sure how to move forward out of something like that, is uh and I'm not like a sponsor for any of these things, or the main thing for me that really just changed my life is the Sedona Method book. And they have seminars and support calls on Facebook, seminars that they sell in um, retreats, and on their site sedona.com. The book is, I definitely suggest starting on the book, but you have to listen to your higher you have to listen to yourself and whatever works best for you. So don't listen to me. You got to Don't listen to really anybody, just listen to yourself. You can listen to what other people have to say, but listen first to yourself. Or how do you respond? How does your body respond to information that's given? Anyway, I guess that's it for today. Keep your thoughts pure as you can, and just, I guess, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love you all. Have a good day. Thanks for being here. Bye.